I think the only problem with black people
is that we view our lives, we view our families, we view our spirituality, we view ourselves through the lens, through the narratives, through the context, through the history, through the education, through the science of
white people.
we stay using white people's understanding to define our lives and then don't realize why our lives don't make sense.
Won't make sense. Won't make sense.
That's insanity. I just wanted to say that. Disclaimer, I am moving right now, so don't be talking about my room, okay? Because you look crazy in the background. But oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well. So I was going to do this video completely different, but I just gotta do it the way my heart tells me to do it. And so that means I just need to record when I am getting the message and when it is the most clear for me. From New Age to Christianity, or from New Age to Yah, from New Age to Yahweh, whatever way you want to put it, whatever way you want to describe it. I have been hearing a lot of stuff about this topic. And I mean, clearly, if you look at the work that I do, I'm clearly into processes and technologies that most people
fear.
And so hearing the conversation while also going through my journey has just sparked me to be like, all right, let me say something. Because that is the basis of my channel. Why? Because that is the basis of my life. The basis of my life is to have a relationship with God and to have a relationship with all that God embodies, nature, people, like animals, like just to be connected to that which is life, that which is love. I live it, I breathe it. That's why I moved to the jungle. That's why I create art, because that, to me, if you look historically, even when you look at who the healers are, who the true deliverers of truth, history, culture, it's the shamans, it's the dancers, it's the drummers. Those are the people who really do hold the wisdom. So that's beside the point. Christianity is New Age spirituality. Christianity is new. It's newer than the practices that our ancestors were practicing. That in itself is the thought right there. I'll let you sit with that, because I know some people are going to be like, what? And I know there were Christians in Africa. I know. Trust me, if I'm talking on this, I know. I researched it, thought about it. Here's my thing. It's not even about what came first. It's not about what works better. For me, the thing is, most of the things we fear, most of the things we deem as demonic are things that were practices attached to our ancestors. They are normally understandings and teachings and history and culture that is directly connected to Black people, to people who the world likes to think of as enslaved. And so if you yourself are a Black person and you are thinking that the technologies and the practices of your ancestors is demonic, is satanic, is scary, is then it's like, first off, what? I don't get that. That to me is demonic and satanic. To condemn your ancestors. Because where does that come from? That comes from white people. Now, I can understand if stuff don't resonate with you. If Christianity resonates with you, that's cool. But that's also why it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Because even getting into hoodoo, getting into a lot of the practices, there's synchronized versions of them. So there's ways for you to be a Christian and still practice and honor your ancestors. Because as Black people, as colored people, as people of the earth, it is our duty to honor the earth, and it is our duty to honor and venerate that which we came from. That's just period. That's just on that. That's just if you're a tribal person, if you're an indigenous person, it's in your DNA. So it's okay if you choose to not embrace that, and it's okay if you're not the person that's supposed to carry that, because that's not for everybody. That's not for everybody. Some people don't want to hear that. That's not for everybody. Everybody ain't supposed to be out here being the one that's doing the ancestral work for the family. Everybody ain't supposed to be out here doing readings. Everybody ain't supposed to be out here, because most of you ain't doing it for God. Most of you are doing it for ego. Most people leave Christianity and get into doing money spells, get into manifesting, get into like, let me just bring stuff to me. Let me just go and ask. That's not what that work is about. I've been practicing that stuff for a long time, and I've never just gone and been like, let me, and then if I have, trust me, I learned that like, that's not the way this works, baby. That's not what it works, baby. It's about character. Ifa is about character. Indigenous practices is about character. Obviously, there are people who have busted character that go and like make stuff look bad. There are people who are coming from trauma. There are people who are coming from impulses that are tapping into these understandings, these systems, these ancestors, and then they're getting, you getting your karma and your trauma back because your intention's not right. You know, like, our ancestors were not for the faint of heart. A lot of people be talking about some, I'm not my ancestors. I know, because your ancestors wasn't no punk. Your ancestors wasn't weak. Your ancestors wasn't using white people to define their lives. Your ancestors wasn't using white people to talk to God. Your ancestors wasn't using white people to understand their own history, to understand who they were. So you're right, you're not your ancestors. And so if you're not ready to be that, do not tap into ancestral work. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. And that's how I feel about the new age to Christianity. That's how I feel about people talking mess about spirituality. Yes, there are people who out there, people who even have this skin that's out there using it for wrong. I'm not saying that people don't tap into stuff and use it for negative, but it's like, you just get what you put in. That's how God works. That's how life works. If you give love, you get love. If you give hate, you get hate. If you got ill intention, you get ill intentions. If you plant rotten seed, you grow rotten fruit. That's just how life works. That's just how life works. So if you yourself have not healed, if you yourself are a wounded, traumatized, triggered ass person who is living in fear and all these other things, that's what you're going to attract. That's what you're going to produce. So don't be mad when the seeds that you plant, when you have to reap what you sow. Like, don't be mad. Don't be mad. Stop blaming everything but your janky energy. That's how I feel about that. If you have something to say, drop a comment below. I just feel like everybody can do what they need to do, you know? We don't all have the same gifts. We don't all have the same calling. We don't all have the same anointing placed on our lives. Not everybody's supposed to be in the same place. And if you could just be where you're at without judging or condemning where other people are at, the world will probably look and feel and be just a little bit lighter, just a little bit better. But people can't do that. People can't do that. People can't do that. People can't do that. To the people with melanin in their skin, to the brown people out there, stop letting your colonizer and your oppressor determine how you speak to and engage with your own identity, your own history, your own ancestry. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. And to the people out there pimping my ancestors' processes, my ancestors pimping me, I see you, bro. Don't be in your feelings. Don't be in your feelings. Hey. Don't be in your feelings. Hey. Ooh, that was bad. Ooh. Hey. Hey. See what happened when you don't get... I needed to support that better. I didn't have any support. Don't be in your feelings. Don't be in your feelings. Don't be in your feelings. No, but for real though, I think it's sad that people are so colonized. I think it's sad that people are so filled with fear. I think it's sad that people honestly are afraid to disconnect from knowing what they know to see and feel and hear something different. Those the same people that's not changing. Those the same people that's walking around with the same habits, the same, oh, that's just who I am, this is how I am. Exactly. The same tunnel vision, same person you always been. The same can't feel, can't do, just you, just the same. Nature don't even do that. You go outside in a tree, look different all year around. It got leaves sometimes it don't. Like the colors change. Everything changes. Why are you still the same? Why are you bragging about that? Why are you proud of that? And if you're not proud of it, take a deep breath in and let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it I don't really know it all like that, but let it go. Let it go. It's my version. You feel me? But yeah. Cause I mean, I'm really coming with love. I'm coming with love. I'm just tired of people judging things, especially stuff you don't have the courage to even really show up. To show up for God, let's forget that God has a name, but let's just think about the concept, the understanding of God. To show up in front of God, you have to show up with a pure heart. You have to show up with an open heart. In order for you to embrace life, you have to be open and available to life, period. And not just one person or one group of people have an understanding and the key and the know-how to teach people with different languages, different trees, different food they eat, all how to, like, there can't be one way. We don't even all eat the same food. What sense does that make? We don't all even eat the same food, and if you gave us the same food, none of us would make the same dish. Very similar, depending on culture. Cultural stuff is real, because, you give brown people beans and they all gonna pretty much do the same thing with them. But, I'm just saying. You get what I'm saying. Make sure you drop a comment below and tell me what you think about this topic. Make sure you drop a comment, like and subscribe to my channel. Like and subscribe to my channel. Hallelujah. Don't be in your feelings. 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 Yeah. Ooh. That's how I feel about that.